ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिनि। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, did we do this? Okay. अचास्य कश्चिद्दयितो न द्वेष्यो न च बान्धवः आविशत्यप्रमत्तोऽसौ प्रमत्तं जनम् अन्तकृत्. No one is dear to the Supreme Person of Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or friend. Oh, I think we did this. Yeah, but he gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him. Yadbhayad vati vatoyam suryastapati yadbhayad. Yadbhayad varshate devo bhagano bhati yadbhayad. Out of fear of the Supreme Person of Godhead, the wind blows. Out of fear of him, the sun shines. Out of fear of him, the rain pours forth showers. And out of fear of him, the host of heavenly bodies shed their luster. And the only people who don't have fear for him is people in this material world. Everybody fears the Supreme Lord and does things as ordained, as they are expected to do, except human beings in this material world. The Lord states in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dikshena Prakriti Suyate. Nature is working under my direction. The foolish person thinks that nature is working automatically, but such an atheistic theory is not supported in the Vedic literature. Nature is working under the superintendence of the Supreme Person of Godhead. That is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. And we also find here that the sun shines under the direction of the Lord and the cloud pours forth showers of rain under the direction of the Lord. All natural phenomena are under superintendence of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Vishnu. यद्वनस्पतयो भीता लताश्चौषधिभिः सह स्वे स्वे काले विगृह्णन्ति पुष्पाणि च फलानि च. Out of fear of the Supreme Person of Godhead, the trees, creepers, herbs, and seasonal plants and flowers blossom and fructify, each in its own season. As the sun rises and sets and the seasonal changes ensue at their appointed times by the superintendence of the Supreme Person of Godhead, so the seasonal plants, flowers, herbs, and trees all grow under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It is not that plants grow automatically without any cause, as the atheistic philosophers say. Rather, they grow in pursuance of the supreme order of the Supreme Person of Godhead. It is confirmed in the Vedic literature that the Lord's diverse energies are working so nicely that it appears that everything is being done automatically. So these things we understand. So I'm not going to go into detailed discussion. श्रवन्ति सरितो भीता नोत्सर्पत्युदधिर्यतः अग्निरिन्धे स गिरिभिर्भूर्णं मज्जति यद्भयात्. Out of fear of the Supreme Person of Godhead, the rivers flow. The ocean never overflows. Out of fear of him only does fire burn, and does the earth with its mountains not sink in the water of the universe. You can understand from Vedic literature that this universe is half filled with water, on which Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is lying. From his abdomen, a lotus flower has grown, and within the stem of that lotus flower, all the different planets exist. The material scientist explains that all these different planets are floating because of the law of gravity or some other law. But the actual lawmaker is the Supreme Person of Godhead. When we speak of law, we must understand that there must be a lawmaker. The material scientists can discover laws of nature, but they are unable to recognize the lawmaker. From Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we can know who the lawmaker is. The lawmaker is the Supreme Person of Godhead. It is said here that the planets do not sink. Since they are floating under the order or energy of the Supreme Godhead, they do not fall down into the water which covers half the universe. So the Brahmanda is covered, half of it is covered, actually not half, little less than half, is covered by the Garbha Udaka, mm, the water, and then Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu is lying on that, and from his stem comes up this lotus, and on from his navel comes up this lotus, and on the stem of the lotus are all these planets that we know or we don't know. So now these planets are all floating in the sky, and they don't fly, they don't fall in the water. They're floating in the sky. That is under the order of or energy of the Supreme Lord. All the planets are heavy, which we can understand, with their various mountains, seas, oceans, cities, palaces, buildings, yet they are floating. It is understood from this passage that all the other planets that are floating in the air have oceans and mountains similar to those on this planet. So Prabhupada is giving one more logic, because here it says Earth with its mountains not sink in the water of the universe. So there are other planets also. Everywhere there are oceans, mountains, etc. All of them are heavy and none of them sinking. They're all floating. Navo dadati shwasatam padam yanyamadadah lokam swadeham tanute mahan saptabhir avritam. Subject to the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sky allows outer space to accommodate all the various planets, which hold innumerable living entities. The total universal body expands with its 7 coverings under his supreme control. It is understood from this verse that all the planets in outer space are floating and they all hold living entities. The word Shvasatam means those who breathe or the living entities. In order to accommodate them, there are innumerable planets. Otherwise, what was the need for the planets if there is no need to accommodate any jivas? Every planet is a resident for innumerable, in residence for innumerable living entities, and the necessary space is provided in the sky by the supreme order of the Lord. It is also stated here that the total universal body is increasing. It is covered by 7 layers, as there are 5 elements within the universe. So the total elements in layers cover the outside of the universal body. The first layer is of earth and is 10 times greater in size than the space within the universe. Second layer is water, and that is 10 times greater than the earthly layer. Third covering is fire, which is 10 times greater than the water covering. In this way, each layer is 10 times greater than the previous one. And this we all know. गुणाभिमानिनो देवाः सर्गादिश्वस्य यद्भयात् वर्तन्ते नुयुगम् येषां वश एतच्चराचरम्. Out of fear of the Supreme Person of Godhead, the directing demigods in charge of the modes of material nature carry out the functions of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Everything animate and inanimate within this material world is under their control. Everything animate and inanimate within this material world is under their control, meaning of the directing demigods. The 3 modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, are under the control of 3 deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu is in charge of the mode of goodness, Lord Brahma is in charge of mode of passion, Lord Shiva is in the charge of mode of ignorance. Similarly, there are many other demigods in charge of the air department, water, cloud, etc. Just as the government has many departments, so within this material world, the government of the Supreme Lord has many departments. And all these departments function in a proper order out of fear of the Supreme Lord. Demigods are undoubtedly controlling all matter, animate and inanimate within the universe, but above them, the supreme controller is the personality of Godhead. Therefore, in the Brahma Samhita, it is said Ishvara Parama Krishna. Undoubtedly, there are many controllers in the departmental management of this universe, but the supreme controller is Krishna. There are 2 kinds of dissolutions. One kind of dissolution takes place when Brahma goes to sleep during his night, and the final dissolution takes place when Brahma dies. As long as Brahma does not die, creation, maintenance, and destruction are actuated by different demigods under the superintendence of the Supreme Lord. If anybody has any questions, you can kindly ask. These things are generally known. Sonantonan sonantontakarah kalo anadir adikridvavyayah janam janena janayam marayan mrityunantakam. The eternal time factor has no beginning and no end. It is the representative of the Supreme Lord, the maker of the criminal world. The criminal world. It brings about the end of the phenomenal world. It carries on the work of creation by bringing one individual into existence from another, and likewise it dissolves the universe by destroying even the Lord of Death, Yamaraja. So it is the time factor which is doing all this. By the influence of eternal time, which is a representative of the Supreme Lord, the Father begets a son and the Father dies by the influence of cruel death. But by time's influence, even the Lord of cruel death is killed. In other words, all the demigods are temporary, like ourselves. Our lives last for 100 years at the most. And similarly, although their lives may last for millions or billions of years, the demigods are not eternal. No one can live within this material world eternally. The phenomenal world is created, maintained, and destroyed by the finger signal of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, a devotee does not desire anything in this material world. A devotee desires only to serve the Supreme Person of Godhead. The servitude exists eternally. The Lord exists eternally. His servitor exists eternally. And the service exists eternally. Mm. So we all have an eternal service. Now we are in the process of discovering what that eternal service is. Mm. Okay, this ends the 29th chapter. So there is no question of us becoming something other than our constitutional position. Whatever is our constitutional position, we will just realize that. And the process that Srila Prabhupada has given is perfect. Many devotees um, have got, because of not clear understanding of Srila Prabhupada's, the path that Srila Prabhupada has given, they thought that ISKCON is not giving the highest truth. So let's go to Gaudiya Math. No, Prabhupada has given the highest truth. Prabhupada has given the perfect path. The other path which Gaudiya Math devotees follow is very dangerous. They explicitly try to follow the Raganuga Marga without following any rules and regulations initially. Very dangerous. So just a simple thing to realize our constitutional position, we simply have to follow what Srila Prabhupada has given. And the central theme or part of this process that Srila Prabhupada is given is getting the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one automatically moves from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti just by being a part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. This we have to understand. If we are not part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, then our progress will be very slow. Then it might seem like we are never going to get our goal, meet our goal, or realize our constitutional position. Being active part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is the central process, part of our process. Just chanting Hare Krishna, being part of preaching, distributing books. If we do this, then automatically we will develop love of Godhead, which basically means we will realize our constitutional position. We don't have to do anything else. So the discussions about going and finding a Rajavasi Guru. Srila Prabhupada is our Rajavasi Guru. We don't have to go anywhere else. And all our spiritual masters are also Rajavasis. Otherwise, how would they come to the position of gurus in ISKCON? It's not just happening by somebody's whim. Mm. Devotion service means Radharani. If somebody's come to the position of Guru, that means it is with Radharani's mercy and consent. Um, so which means all of them are representatives of Srimati Radharani, which means they're all Brajavasis. So we don't have to go anywhere else. Simply we have to just follow the path given to us and we will achieve perfection. And please note that this service is there eternally. Yeah. Mm. Whatever is our very dear service, we will get. mm, for example, if somebody is very attached to naturally very attached to garland making, and maybe might get service of picking flowers or putting water to the plants or something we will get in connection with garland making. So because it's natural, it's like just whatever is naturally coming to us. That is our natural propensities. Yeah, as long as it is in line with Shastra. If it is not in line with Shastra, it is our stupidity. Prabhupada says rascaldom. But if it is in line with Shastra, if these are approved services that Srila Prabhupada is given, etc., and we are naturally attracted, so much attracted that uh, nothing is more important than us. We are ready to give our life for that service. If there is something like that, then that means naturally we will progress into that service. And of course, in the spiritual world, there are so many services. At the same time, there are so many devotees. But everybody gets service. Krishna reciprocates individually with every jiva there. So we should actually aspire for this. It's so beautiful. Just imagine just being, amongst Radha, Krishna, all the exalted Vrajavasis. What a what a exalted position that is. We should get inspired by this. The only reason that we should be putting everything behind doing bhakti is this, unimaginable, unexplainable uh, association of Radha and Krishna and their beautiful eternal servitors. It cannot be described. Simply by seeing Radha Madhav and Ashtasakhi, we'll have goosebumps. Just imagine being present in the, as in when we can experience their presence. Even now they're present there, but we are not able to experience their presence. But just imagine experiencing their presence and being among them. What exalted position it is. Mm. So that service is available, provided we give up this material desires. Otherwise, there's no hope. If you want to hold on to material desires, then we'll get material service. We'll get service in the material world. If a devotee desires only to serve Supreme Lord, then he will get that eternal service that he has. We should always aspire for this. This whatever there is in this material world is all temporary junk. Just get destroyed. Even if we like something, we are not going to have it. So what is the point? It is meaningless. But desire to serve the Lord is so beautiful, so exalted, so much, so sukham, so much bliss it gives. And we should remember that that service is awaiting us in Goloka, provided we want to go there. Uh, Otherwise, we can continue to remain here. Nobody is going to force us. Nobody is going to push us out. Durga Devi will happily engage us in this material world. Mm. So we have to desire this. If going gets tough, just we should remember one thing, that we should desire. In the midst of any kind of difficulty, we can desire. We can desire to serve the Lord. And Radha Krishna and all our deities, acharyas, they're all so reciprocative. They'll reciprocate. You desire and you will see. Mm. Uh, like, yeah, yesterday some devotees keep calling in discussions about how difficult it is, etc. But all the difficulty is there, but it's not like it's not. Um, it'll go. Difficulties will go. Even in spite of difficulties, we can do service. There are devotees who are in so much of difficulty, not able to do, but because they just prayed, eventually Lord manifested service for them, made it happen, made their, you know, fulfill their desire for service. So, and yeah, the difficult condition continued. It's not like we should not pray for difficult condition to end. We should pray for desire to service to manifest. Our desire for service should manifest, meaning that whatever service we are desiring, that should manifest, that should happen. That should be our goal. We should not pray, okay, let my material condition be all right. Then I will do something. No, that's not correct, because that may or may not happen at all, because that is karma phala. That is left to Krishna. But when we pray for service, that doesn't depend on any karma phala. It can manifest immediately. So that doesn't have any constraint. So we should not pray to get out of our material difficult situations. We should pray in spite of whatever material situation. I desire to do this service. Krishna, please empower me to do this. That's all. And that desire will get fulfilled without doubt. Without doubt, that desire will get fulfilled. If anybody has any doubt about that, you can pray and try, and you'll see the result. But we have to be sincere. See, bhakti means sincerity. Simple. If you're cheating, we are not cheating anybody else. We are cheating ourselves. If we're not following rules, if we're not doing our sadhana properly, whom can we cheat? We can cheat our guru, because he so much trusted us when he gave us, initiation, saying that please do this, chant nicely, serve nicely. If you're not doing it, whom are we cheating? Are we cheating our guru? No, we are cheating ourselves. We're cheating ourselves, because we're not going to get that service, eternal service. So we should all just try to be sincere, follow the path. Many times devotees have, between devotees there are conflicts. All this is there's no place for all this in the spiritual world. We should remember. There's no place for all this in the spiritual world. There's no place for, you know, mm, envy, jealousy, anger, material qualities. There's no place. Jaya Vijaya were sent down because they showed some signs of material behavior. Of course, that is the desire of the Lord. But then the Kumaras say that this envy, this is not, there's no place for this in the spiritual world. Go down. So these things we have to just be sincere, do our service. Put our head down. We say, right? We should just put our head down and do our service. Meaning, let's not bother about others and other things and this and that and all that. Just let's sincerely do our service, and we will make progress. Be sincere, sincerely do the service that Krishna has given us. Desire for more service, and we will make progress. Simple. Okay, I'll stop here. If there are any devotees have any comments? Or okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, one question that we were discussing about cosmic, in different planets, different living entities are there.
Hmm.
But what about stars, Prabhu? Is it considered as a planet or what? Prabhu?
Yeah,
We have
as per Shastra, stars also are planets, I think. Meaning there are living entities there as well. As far as I remember, I can't completely recollect, but yeah, as far as I remember.
okay.
Yeah. Maybe if somebody reads up on this, you can share. I don't know, very vaguely I remember somewhere reading. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhayavcha Patidana Pavati Vaishnavya Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Jagat Guru Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad.